All right, so the Fraser Valley has officially hit all-time highs of inventory for specifically April. Let's get into it. So here we are, inventory, Fraser Valley. I just showed you real-time data. Last month was 8,000, but I just currently showed you that we were sitting at, let me just pull it up again, 9,067 listings total right now in the Fraser Valley. So we have been higher than this for July of 2008, May 2009. Now, one thing to keep in mind is inventory peaks out at different times every year. So there's a chance that 9,000 listings could be the peak for this year. And maybe we don't go to all-time highs, like regardless of month, seasonally adjusted, everything. There's a chance that we don't reach that. That being said, I personally don't believe April is going to be the peak for inventory. So we're at 9,067. Last year, we were at 6,400. 2019 is a pretty bad year, only 7,000. You have to go all the way back here. 2013, we only had 8,400 in April, 8,600 in 2012, 7,200 2011. Even in 2010, we had less listings at 8,800. You have to go all the way back. Yeah, even in 2008, we only had 8,700. So as far as April goes, we have more inventory now than we ever had for an April. But that doesn't mean we're going to peak out more than 10,500 like we did in July of 2008. Now we could, if inventory keeps rising until July. I think we're obviously on pace to have more listings than this, but we'll have to see what happens. So all that being said, I'm going to cover what's going on in the market right now, the good news and the bad news. And because I'm such a bearish real estate channel, instead of giving you guys the bad news first and then the good news, I'm going to give you the good news first and then the bad news. So buyers are coming back. The last 2 weeks have been busy. I'm the busiest that I've been since the first 2 weeks of the year in January, and having a lot of buyers reach out saying a lot of the same things. There's a lot of people still telling me no Surrey, only Langley. But something has changed because I have several buyers now that specifically want Surrey Central, which hasn't happened for a very long time. And the reason why is because the prices have come down there so much, you can actually find decent product there under 400,000. I have an accepted offer on a condo listed at $399. I think it was built in 2011 or 2012. And if you look in Abbotsford, one bed condos, right? If you go under 400,000, all these units are built in like 08, 09, and they're all kind of listed around that 380, 370 mark. So you're almost at like central Abbotsford pricing in Surrey Central now. So as a first-time home buyer, it's very attractive, right? Like not everybody wants to live in Surrey Central. People have their hesitancy with that area. But when the financials make too much sense, you're willing to sacrifice for 5 to 6 years and, pay way less for the same thing 15 blocks over. Now, something else I've noticed is that negotiations are tighter from what I've experienced. And tighter negotiations usually means a more balanced market. Now, the whole market isn't balanced, but what I have noticed is there's a lot more sellers listing the properties in line with where actual market valuations are. And when that happens, the negotiation between the buyer and seller is a lot tighter. You're not getting 5 to 10% off the asking price. You're getting 3 to 5% off the asking, maybe 5, more like 3% off the asking price. So negotiations that I've been in this month in comparison to a month and a half ago have been a lot tighter. And I'd say that's a good thing for the market. The next thing I've noticed is that market sentiment has drastically improved. You can feel it in the air. It's a vibe. Now, it's still not amazing. The vibe is still pretty shitty, but it's a lot better than what it was a month ago. People are more interested in real estate now than they were 3 weeks ago, a month ago, whatever. The election is coming up. It's actually tomorrow. And I don't know what effect that's going to have on the market. That could bring buyers back. It could do absolutely nothing. I don't know. But what I do know is that the entirety of this year, people have been waiting for something. January came, then January was an amazing month. Trump got in, then it was, we're going to do tariffs in 30 days. So everybody was waiting for 30 days to see what happens with the tariffs. Then the 30 days came and it was, no, you're going to wait another 30 days, right? So then we were waiting another 30 days to see what was going to happen with the tariffs. And then the tariffs happened. And then, okay, the tariffs are changing. Now it's 90 days. I don't even know where the tariffs are at right now, to be completely honest with you. I've just completely lost track. I don't even think it's worth my time to invest time into what's going on with them because they change every 2 weeks, right? But the last thing that people have been waiting around for is the election, right? I think everybody's completely immune to tariffs at this point. Like whatever happens with the tariffs, people are just like, whatever, right? I think people are immune to it. Like most of the general public, I would say, just doesn't really care anymore, right? But something they do care about is the election. And when that happens, we will move from basically a sentiment of uncertain uncertainty. We are uncertain about the uncertainty that's going to unfold before us. We're going to move from that sentiment to certain uncertainty. We're at least going to be certain that there's going to be uncertainty. Whereas right now, we have no idea what's going to happen. So I think at the very least, after the election, we could see improved sentiment just by that being over. And we're finally done waiting for the next announcement or the next thing to happen. But again, maybe nothing happens. You know, I could be completely wrong and just maybe absolutely nothing happens. Now, the bad news, okay? Prices have come down in almost everything in the Fraser Valley. There are pockets and product types that have been performing well that really haven't budged at all. Like townhomes in Willoughby, I think have come down a little bit, like not substantially, maybe like 20 grand. One bedrooms in Abbotsford really haven't moved at all, just as an example. But most things have come down in price in the last 3 months, I would say. And that could also be good news. And that's why I included that in the good news section as well. Well, I think I included that in the good news section. Prices are down. Inventory is at all-time highs. And I guess you could call it a worry, is that when summer comes along and seasonally demand falls off a cliff, as it does every single year, well, there's going to be a lot of sellers that need to sell that are going to be still stuck on the market. And we could actually see a pretty sharp leg down in price because of that, just over the course of the summer, right? That's what happened in 2022, right? I mean, prices were coming down anyways, but they came down, really fast in the summer, right? We also had that 1% interest rate hike, right? But yeah, I think prices could come down, like take a sharp leg down in the summer if a bunch of this inventory is left sitting on the market and demand just completely fizzles away for the summer and everybody going on vacation and everything. Now, keep in mind, I'm not saying that's going to happen. I'm just saying that's a possibility because typically speaking, prices go down in the summer anyways. So you couple high inventory with, all-time high inventory with demand fizzling away, you could see prices come down faster than they typically would during the summer. But again, I am just completely guessing, right? I have no idea what's going to happen. I do tend to lean towards the election being done with being a positive thing. I do tend to lean towards prices are going to continue going down. I just don't know how fast. But I also tend to lean towards it is still a good time to buy if you are an end user, regardless of the fact that prices are going to keep going down. So that's your, whatever this is, 7 or 8 minute update for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Let's see what happens with the election tomorrow. If you want to chat with me about buying or selling real estate in the Fraser Valley, there's a link down in my description. Otherwise, I just appreciate you for being here. I'm that Agent Kelly. I'm making moves to move you. Peace.